The biggest lie you've been told about procrastination is that it's laziness. Lazy people don't feel guilty. Lazy people don't lie awake, replaying the thing they didn't start. You have. Which means, whatever this is, it isn't laziness. It's something else, wearing laziness as a disguise. Procrastination isn't a time management problem. It's an emotion management problem. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding the feeling the task brings up. The risk of doing it badly. The fear of finding out you're not as capable as you hoped. The discomfort of starting something you can't guarantee will work. So your brain does something quietly logical. If the task never starts, the feeling never has to be faced. This is why willpower advice fails you. Just start assumes the barrier is motivation. It isn't. The barrier is that starting feels dangerous, even when nothing dangerous is actually at stake. You're not procrastinating on the task. You're procrastinating on the emotional exposure the task requires. Here's the part that makes it worse. Every time you avoid it, you get short-term relief, and your brain logs that relief as a reward. That's why procrastination gets easier the more often you do it. You already know the deadline matters. You already know avoiding it makes it worse. So why doesn't that knowledge help? Because the part of you making the decision isn't asking what makes sense. It's asking what feels safe. And those are rarely the same question. This is why guilt doesn't work either. Guilt is more feeling stacked on top of the feeling you were already avoiding. It doesn't create momentum. It creates a second thing to avoid.
I work better under pressure anyway. No, I just don't want to mess it up. If I start now and it's bad, then what? Maybe tomorrow.
Notice what Al's voice does. It reaches for the easy line first. I work better under pressure. Then it catches itself. It never says, I'm afraid. It never says, I might fail. It says, I don't want to mess it up. Maybe tomorrow. Those aren't admissions. They're reasonable sounding covers for the same outcome. So if discipline isn't the fix, and guilt isn't the fix, what is? Not a productivity hack. A different question. Instead of, how do I make myself start? The real question is, what am I afraid this will reveal about me if I start and it goes badly? That's usually the actual thing being avoided, not the task, the verdict. If these hidden patterns are the kind of thing you've been trying to understand, subscribe. Every week, we uncover another one. Procrastination was never proof you don't care. Most of the time, it's proof you care so much that starting feels like a risk to something you can't afford to lose, your own sense of being capable. The fear was never a stop sign. It was just proof you were about to do something that mattered. Dear Almost, you don't need to feel ready before you start. You need to survive starting without being ready once. And notice you're still standing. That's the only proof your nervous system actually trusts. That is the almost effect for this week. If you caught yourself nodding somewhere in this video, don't rush to fix it. Just notice it. New video next week. Same channel, same diagnosis, different pattern. The almost effect.